associative and a distributive property. Now, right at the end of the last video, we did solve some problems which required us to know the order of operations, and this time I would just like to continue with that, although this time we will have some longer expressions which we will try to solve. Now, just to refresh our memory, I will write on the blackboard the order of operations. This is pretty much all what we will need to solve the next problems. So, what we do first when we have an expression, we solve the brackets. So, whatever is inside the brackets, we do that first. Second comes the multiplication. Slash division. They are equally important here. So in case we happen to have an expression like this, 2 times 3 divided by 6, it doesn't matter what we do first. We can divide 3 by 6 first and then multiply that by 2, which gives us 1. Or we can multiply 2 and 3 first and then divide that by 6, which gives us the answer 1 once again. And the third step here is addition. Slash subtraction. Once again, they are equally important at this third point. So, let's move right onto the problems. We will do 2 exercises in this video, and both will have an instruction to just calculate the expressions, of course. So, in the first example, we'll have in the brackets 13 times 5 plus 1 bracket times 2 plus 36. So every single one of these problems will have all all brackets, multiplication and addition. We will not have any division or subtraction here, but in case it appears, the process is still the same. So, of course, we need to solve the brackets first, whatever is inside this bracket right here. Inside we have a multiplication and addition. So we know that multiplication inside this bracket, we do not have any other brackets, rest. We can take that as 13 times 5. I mean times 10, sorry. And then divide that by 2 since this expression is equal to 5. Sorry, once again, I wrote 1 0 too much. I'm kind of skipping steps at this point, so we know 13 times 10 is 130, and then after we divide that by 2, we get 65. So we have 65 plus 1 times 2 plus 36. And now the only thing left in the brackets is addition. So we do that. Once there is only one number left in the brackets, we can just ignore the brackets. So after this step, we do not have any brackets left. All we are left with is multiplication and addition, and once again, we need to do the multiplication first. So 66 times 2. I explained the column multiplication in my first video on this channel. So if you're curious about that, or if you still if you maybe don't know how to do that, the first video is very useful. But yeah, pretty much the answer of 66 times 2 is 132. And then we just need to add 36. We know that the answer, the sum of these two numbers here, is 168. And that is the result of this problem. You can delete that, it was just for a little help here. Let's move to the example B. Now these examples will be very similar. We'll pretty much need to do a very similar thing in these examples. So once again, we have the bracket, which we must solve first, and inside of it we once again have both addition and multiplication. So we need to do the multiplication first. Now this one is very simple. You can just copy the rest. And 11 times 2 becomes 22. Plus 12. Okay. The only thing left in the bracket is now addition. So let's add these two numbers together. That gives us 26. And now we are left with the expression where we only have addition and multiplication. Sorry, there is a plus right here. So we need to do that multiplication first. So 26 times 3 will be 78. add these three numbers together, and the result of this will be 92. Next example. 17 plus 5 in the bracket times 5 plus brackets 3 plus 11 plus 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, so this time we have two brackets here. We can solve the first bracket quite easily. It's just the addition. So 17 plus 5 is 22. Okay, so we cleared the first bracket. We still have the other bracket here. And inside the bracket we have addition and multiplication. And we need to do the multiplication first. So 2 times 2 is 4. Times 2. Okay, now we can just add the numbers in the bracket together. So 3 plus 11 plus 4, that's 18 times 2. And now we are left with multiplication and addition. So multiplication is the operation we need to do first. So we need to multiply these two numbers first. Okay, we have 22 times 5. Remember, we can multiply 22 by 10. Add an extra 0 to 22. That gives us 220 and divide it by 2, which is 110. And then plus 18 times 2, which is 36. And adding these numbers together gives us 146. And that is the final answer. Great. Let's go to the next problem. Example D. So here we have a bracket 2 times 2 times 2 plus 3 times 2 times 5 outside the bracket plus 199. Okay, so we only have one bracket here. We need to solve the bracket first, and let's see what's inside of it. We have addition and multiplication. So this is a triple multiplication here, and this is just a multiplication of two numbers. So we need to do the multiplication first. We know that 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8, and 3 times 2 is 6. We just copy the rest. And now the only thing left in brackets is addition. After we add 8 plus 6, we get 14 times 5 plus 199. And now all that is left is addition and multiplication. Once again, we solve the multiplication first. So let's see. This equals to 14 times 10 divided by 2. Since this is 5. So we add an extra 0 to 114 divided by gives us 70. So we get 70 plus 199, which is 269. Good. Next example. Example E. We have 3 plus 7 times another bracket here. 13 plus 67 plus 4 times 15 plus 1. So let's see what we can do here. Obviously we need to do the brackets first, but since this expression is made out of 3 parts, so this is part 1, this is part 2, and this is part 3. So parts are pretty much separated by the addition slash subtraction, sorry. So we can do each part on its own. But yeah, in the first part, we need to solve the brackets first, and inside these brackets is just the addition. So 3 plus 7 is 10, and 13 plus 67 is 80. Plus, okay, 4 times 15, that's 60, and plus 1. Great, now we're left with multiplication and addition. 18 times 10 is 800, since we just add another 0 to 80, plus 60, plus 1, and after adding these 3 numbers together, we get 861. Great. So, example F. This one will have brackets 40 plus 2 times 41 plus 36 times another bracket 7 times 20 plus 7 times 80. Okay, let's solve that. So we need to do the brackets first. So these 2 brackets are separate, so we can work on each. But let's look what's inside each bracket. We have the addition here, multiplication here, another addition. So we need to solve the multiplication first here. And then in the second bracket we have 2 multiplications separated by the plus sign, and we will need to multiply these numbers first. So obviously we need to do the multiplication first in each bracket. Okay. So in the first bracket, after multiplying 2 by 41, we get 82. And after, okay, we need to multiply 7 by 20. So 7 times 20 is just 140. We can do an alternative thing here. We can say that extra 0 to 14, which gives us 140. So we have 140 here, and then 7 times 80, a very similar way, is equal to 7 times 8 times 10, and 7 times 8 is 56, and then we just add an extra 0 to it. Great, okay. Now we still have brackets here, so but everything that's left in these brackets is an addition now. So let's add these numbers together. Each bracket 40 plus 82 is 122. And 122 plus 36 is 158 multiplied. Okay, number in the second bracket is equal to, let's say 140 plus 560. That's 700. Okay, that is equal to 158 times 7. After we calculate that, we will just add 2 extra zeros. Since 700 is just 7 times 100, right? Let's calculate that using the column multiplication. So 7 times 8 is 56. 7 times 5 is 35 plus 5 is 40. And 7 times 1 is 7 plus 4 is 11. So we get 1106. Right. 1106. Times 100. So we need to add 2 extra zeros to 1106. And that's 110,600. So this result is slightly bigger than the result in the previous examples. But that's cool. Alright, we do have, I believe, 2 more examples in this exercise. Let's see. Example G. We have 1 plus 2 times 3 plus 4 times 5 plus 6 times 7 plus 8. Oh, the only number missing here is 9. Let's see. We do the brackets first. We have 3 different brackets here, separate brackets, but the expression inside these brackets are very simple. Just have an addition, and that addition is very, very easy. So we get 3 here, we get 7 here, we need to multiply that by 5, and then 7 plus 8 is 15. Alright. So we have 2 parts here. The first part is this multiplication, the second part is another multiplication. Of course, we need to do the multiplication first. We know that 3 times 7 is 21. And 6 times 15 first transform this into 6 times 10 plus 6 times 5. Or we can alternatively just column multiply these two numbers, which will give us 90. But let's try to refresh our knowledge by using the distribution here. So 21 times 5. So we had to add an extra 0 to 210 and then divide that by 2. Since 5 is just 10 times 10 divided by 2. And that part becomes 105. We can alternatively just column multiply. Okay, and the distribution rule, we just multiply 6 by each number in the bracket. Now we're making this a little bit complicated here, but all I want to do is really just refresh some of the things from the last video. So we did the multiplication here, and now we can add these 3 numbers together, which gives us 195, and that is the answer to this exercise. Obviously, we could just skip this part and say, okay, this is 105 and this is 90. Which gives us the same answer. But yeah, I did get kind of creative on my own here. With obviously the goal to just refresh the distribution rule. Maybe we will need it in some of the later examples. Example H. We have 1 plus 2 times 5 times 3 plus 45 plus times 12 times 5. Okay, times 5 plus 5 times 3 plus 2 plus 9 times 1. Alright, the longest expression so far. Once again, we need to solve the brackets first. And inside the first bracket we have multiplication and addition. So we need to solve the multiplication first. 5 times 3 is 15 plus 45. And then we have 4 times 12 times 5. Okay, we know that 4 times 12 is 48. And multiplying by 5. Okay, let's add an extra 0. That means multiplying by 10 and then divide that by 2. Divide that by 2. So I'll just write it like this. So that is 480, and dividing that by 2 gives us 240. We could multiply 5 and 4 first, giving us 20, and then we will multiply 12 by 2, is 240. Okay. Final bracket, we have a multiplication and addition. Let's just do the multiplication first. 9 times 1 is very easy. That's just 9. And now the only thing left in the brackets is addition. So let's just add these terms inside the brackets together. We have 15 plus 45, which is 60, plus 240, which is 300. No need for the bracket here. Times 5, okay, plus 5 times, okay, 3 plus 2 is 4, 5, sorry, plus 9 is 14. And, okay, the only thing left is multiplication and addition. So once again, let's do the multiplication first. We have 2 times 300 times 5. We know that 2 times 5 is 10. So we will be left with 300 times 10 after multiplying 5 and 2. And that means we just need to add an extra 0 to 300, which gives us 3000. And then multiplying 5 times 14, okay, we add an extra 0 to 14 and divide that by 2, which gives us 70. And after adding these three numbers together, we get 3071. Great. That was the longest and the final example of this exercise. Let's go to the next exercise. This will be the final exercise for this video. I have 7 examples ready, and the instruction for this is the same. We need to calculate the expressions. So the first one being 3 times bracket 4 plus 9 times another bracket 3 plus 7. Okay, very similar to last time, but this time we have brackets inside brackets. So let's look right here. We have we need to solve the brackets first. Now, which bracket? Okay, here's one. We need to solve that bracket first. Let's look at what's inside of it. We have addition, multiplication, and brackets. So we need to do these brackets first, the green brackets. So 3 times 4 times 9 and 4 plus 9, sorry, times 3 plus 7 is just 10. Okay. Now, no more inside brackets. Everything that's left inside our bracket here is multiplication and addition. So let's just multiply 9 and 10. Plus, oops, 9 times 10 is 90. And let's add 4 and 90 together. And now just needs to multiply 94 and 3, which gives us 282. Great. how to multiply this without using the column multiplication. We can use the distribution rule. We know that 3 times 94 is the same as 3 times 100 minus 6. Using the distribution, that's 3 times 100 minus 3 times 6, which gives us 300 minus 80, and that's exactly 282. That's how students usually do higher multiplication inside their head without using the column multiplication. Alright, next example. We have a bracket 2 plus 5. No, we have 3 here. 3 times 5 plus 4. Times 2 plus 3. Okay, once again we have brackets inside brackets. So we have, let's see, we have brackets here, and then we have multiplication and addition, so we need to solve what's inside brackets first, and what's inside this bracket is addition, multiplication, and brackets, so we need to solve the inner bracket first. Now, inside the inner bracket, there is just addition, so let's add 5 and 4 together and copy everything else. 3 times 9 times 2 plus 3. Good. Now inside the brackets we're left with addition and multiplication. We need to solve multiplication first. So after multiplying 3 and 9, we get 27. And now just add 2 and 27 together, which is 29. And now we are left with addition and multiplication. We need to multiply first. 29 times 2 is 58, since I can just take 30 minus 1 times 2, which is the same as 60 minus 2. After multiplying 2 by each number here, which is 58. We can also do the column multiplication. Yeah, after adding 58 and 3 together, we get 61, and that's the answer here. Example C. 3 times 2 times 4 plus 6 plus 1 plus 12. Okay, once again we need to solve the bracket first. Inside that bracket we have another bracket, so let's solve that bracket, that green bracket first. It's quite simple. We just add 4 and 6 together, which gives us 10. And now the only thing left in the bracket is the red bracket, is multiplication and addition. So we multiply 2 and 10. That gives us 20 plus 1 which is 63. Since we know that 3 times 21 is same as 3 times 20 plus 1. Now 3 times 20 is 60. And 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 12. And after adding these two numbers together, we got 75. Cool. Next example. Example D. We have 12 plus 23 times 3 plus 7 times 20 plus 20. So okay, we need to solve what's inside the bracket first. Inside of it we have another bracket, green bracket. Let's solve that one first. 12 plus 23 is 35. Now we only have one bracket left. Inside of it we need to solve the multiplication first. 35 times 3. So 35 times 3 is 90 plus 15. Remember, we just multiply each by 3, each term in the addition, and that's 105. Plus 7 here, times 20, plus 20. Okay, we can now add the terms inside the brackets together, which gives us 112. And now we are left with multiplication and addition. Now we know that 20 is 2 times 10. So we can write it in that way. Now it doesn't matter which number we multiply first. We can multiply 112 by 10 first, but I will multiply 112 by 2. So 112 times 2 is 224 times 10. Just gives another 0 to it. 2240 plus 20. And just the simple addition, we got 2260 as our result here. That was example D. Example E. We have 7 times 8 plus 9 times 8 times 2 plus 3 times 1 plus 2 plus 3 times 1 plus 2 plus 3. Okay. A very long expression and a lot of brackets here. So we can solve this bracket first here, and must solve this bracket first. And okay, the first bracket will be very simple. The first red bracket. Inside of it, we will need to do the multiplication first, and then after getting the result 72, we will add 8 to it, which will give us 80. And 80 times 7 is 560 times 2 is 1120. But yeah, I'm just doing stuff in my mind now. I need to write it down. Let's just do the brackets first. So we know that 9 times 8 is 72. Let's go step by step. Okay, the second bracket. Inside of the second bracket we have another bracket which we must solve first. So we have 1 plus 2 plus 3 times, and 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. Okay, let's continue in the first bracket right here. We add the numbers together, and in the second bracket we will need to do the multiplication first. So after solving the first bracket we get 80. And let's see. 3 times 6 is 18. Okay. Now remember, 7 times 80 right here is just 7 times 8 times 10. We know that 7 times 8 is 56. And then multiplying that by 10 is just writing another 0 to it. So that's 560. After multiplying these two numbers, but we still need to multiply that by 2 later. And okay, after adding the numbers in the second bracket together, we get 21. Now you might ask me, why did I do the multiplication and the expression inside the bracket at the same time? Like, don't we need to do the brackets first? Not really in this case, because we have 2 parts. We have 2 parts here. We have the parts are separated by the plus sign, so we can just take this part completely by itself, and then this part also. So okay, 560 times 2. We do 560 plus 100 plus 560, and yeah, that gives us 1120, as I did mention before. Plus 3 times 21, which is 63. And after adding these two together, we get 1183. And that is our answer here. Alright. this next in the next example. Let's just do the other one. 9 plus 1 times 2 plus 4 plus 3 times 8 times 10 plus 4 plus 7 times 5 times 22 plus 88. Okay. Quite a long expression, but once again we have two separate brackets. We have one right here and the other one right here. So we need to calculate these brackets first. The right bracket, the red one. So the second right bracket will be quite simple, just adding the numbers together. However, the left one has many things in it. We have addition, multiplication, and some brackets inside of it as well. So we need to solve these brackets first. Remember, inside of this right bracket there are 1, 2, 3, 4 parts separated. So we can pretty much multiply this as well in the same step. We cannot simplify this any further. But yeah, here we need to do the brackets first, the green brackets, and in this case as well, the same thing. So let's do that. So the red bracket, the first red bracket, 9, okay, plus 1 times 2 is 2. 4. Let's do the multiplication first inside of this bracket. 3 times 8 is 24. Times 10 plus 4 plus 7 is 11 times 5. And the second red bracket, we just add 22 and 88 together, which gives us 100. We don't need to red brackets for a single number. 110. Okay. So let's see, we need to solve this bracket now. First. So again, this bracket is made out of 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. We cannot simplify the first two parts any further. We need to solve this bracket first here, or we can also apply the distribution method by just multiplying 10 with each number here. Which one should I do? Let's do the distribution method this time, just for some diversity. And yeah, we can, in the last part, we can just multiply these two numbers. It does not affect the third part at all when we multiply 11 and 5. So now the plan is ready. We have 9 plus 2. Oops. Plus. Okay, let's use the distribution. Let's multiply 10 by each number in the bracket. That gives us 40 and 20. is 55, I believe. We add an extra 0 to 11 and divide that by 2, which gives us 55. Okay, times 110. Great, now the only thing left in this bracket is addition. We need to add 5 different numbers together. So let's see. It doesn't matter in which order we add them together, since we know the associative rule. And also the commutative rule or property. So 240 plus 40 is 280. 280 plus 55 is 335. 335 plus 9 is 344. And 344 plus 2 is 346. Let's confirm that by adding these numbers in a different way. So 9 plus 2 is 11, plus 40 is 51, plus 240 is 291, plus 55 is really 346, yeah. Okay, times 110. Okay, we know that is 346 times 11 times 10, since 110 is just 11 times 10. So we will multiply these two numbers and then add an extra 0 because we're multiplying by 10. So 346 times 11. Let's do the column multiplication here. So we have 6, 4, 3 plus 6, 4, 3. We have 6 here, 10 here, 8 here, and 3 here. So the result of multiplying 346 by 11 is 3,806. But since we need to multiply that way by 10 as well, we need to add an extra 0 to it, and the final answer will be 38,060. Great. Now, the final example. Example G. I did start writing it a little ago. We had 4 brackets at the beginning, so this will be a very interesting example. We have 2 plus 2 times 2 plus 2 times 2 plus 2 plus 2 times 2 plus 2 times 2. So we have a lot of brackets and a lot of 2's. But this looks terrible, but it's really not that bad. So we have one very wide bracket here. We need to solve it first, and inside of it we need to solve this bracket first. And inside this green bracket we have another bracket right here, the blue bracket. So we need to solve plus 2 is 4. Times 2 plus 2. And let's just copy everything else here. Okay. So we solved the green bracket. Let's take a look at the blue bracket now. Inside of the blue bracket, we need 4 times 2 first. So let's just do that very fast. 4 times 2 is 8. And then let's do add plus 2, which will give us 10. So we know that the expression inside the blue bracket is equal to 10. So 10 times 2 plus 2 plus 2 times 2 plus 2 times 2. Okay. So we have a red bracket here. Inside of it we have another bracket. But let's look at what's inside the red bracket first actually. So we have 3 parts. We have this part, we have the second part, and the third part, and we can pretty much solve this part separately. We know how to solve this part as well, but this third part cannot be simplified any further. So let's do these 3 parts in one step. We know that 10 times 2, we need to do the multiplication first inside the green bracket. So 10 times 2 is 20, and then we'll be left with 20 plus 2, which is 22. The second part, 2 times 2, that's 4, and then plus 2 times 2. Okay, let's solve the only bracket left by just adding 3 numbers together. By adding 22, 4 and 2 together, we got 28, and then times 2. What is that? Let's use the distribution for the final time. We know that 28 is 30 minus 2 times 2. And multiplying 2 by 30 gives us 60, and 2 by 2 gives us 4. And that's 56. There we go. We could also do the column multiplication. So 16 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. That's 6 right here. The same result. So yeah, that was a very fun example for that I saved up for the last example. And that's pretty much the final thing I wanted to do today. Thank you for staying till the end. I hope you learned something new, and I hope to see you again on the channel. Next time I will prepare some text problems. We will have a problem which is described by text, and then we will need to write the expressions seen here, which we solved today. For example, this